What's going on, everybody? This is Moses Workman,
And this is Moses Turner.
and this is the Moses Podcast.
No biblical shit.
You know it. We're back for episode number 9, and as usual, thank you for tuning in.
And as usual, tell your friends about us, tell your family about us.
Yeah, just share it.
We try to make moves, so just share it.
Yeah. What's up, Turner? How's your work, man?
My work.
How's your week been?
My week's been
Your past
great.
2 weeks, because we took
We
break.
did take a temporary sabbatical there, but I mean, I'm loving the fact that it's warm. Like, I ain't even gonna front.
Yeah.
It's February, it's warm as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, man, I don't know, man. I just hate winter, period. I hate snow. I hate white snow. I hate everything that's white and looks cold. I hate ice unless it's in my drink. Oh, man.
Hold on. Let's just restrict that to snow, okay?
All right, yeah.
Let's just
Yeah, I fucks with
ice.
Ice is the shit.
Right.
Let me take that back. But yeah, I fucks with ice. But nah, snow, anything that's cold that did not come from my freezer, fuck y'all.
Right, exactly. If it's cold and from the sky, fuck y'all.
Yeah, exactly. Mother Nature, punk ass bitch.
Oh shit. Now watch next week we're gonna have blizzards and we're like shit.
Nah, man, it's always been fuck her because I've lived on a hill for my entire life. Like from childhood, I lived at the top of a hill. And then when I got older, I was like, yo, I'm never living on another hill again. And then I bought a house at the top of a hill. Like Fat Joe said, like if you ask anybody where I live, they'll point to the hills and say, go all the way up. Like,
right.
That's where I live. Like I live at the top of a humongous hill.
Nah, I didn't go front because I did the same thing. I lived in Rankin for most of my life. That was on top of a fucking hill.
Yeah.
Then I lived in Braddock on 4th Street. That was on top of a fucking hill.
Oh man.
Like the fact that I'm not really on top of a steep hill this time, because I'm still on top of a hill, but it's just not as steep as most of the shit that I used to live at.
Yeah, you live on a slant.
Right. I'm good on the slant.
Yeah, the slant. I can deal with a slant.
Right.
I live on a hill. Like you gotta pull out the ice picks and carabiners and shit.
Right. Get that first down jacket and everything. Eskimo jacket, get the pickaxes. You gotta climb.
Yeah, right. But man, for me, past 2 weeks been cool. You know, it's been pretty neutral. I've been sleeping like shit. Like I think we talked about this before, but I gotta get my sleep study done. They called me and told me my insurance was accepted, but they didn't make my appointment yet. So they're gonna send me some hardware. Tell me I gotta hook up and do this little sleep study and see if I got the sleep apnea that everybody in the world has.
Yeah,
So,
well, I mean, just to give you warning, they will tell you not to drink anything in like a certain amount of hours.
yeah, I kind of picked up on that myself because I also got this little heartburn issue too. I don't technically eat past 7,
right?
Which I just made that mistake because it's like 9 something right now as we're recording this.
But it's turkey.
But I mean, I got the barbecue sauce, and that's gonna flare me up a little bit. But whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's been pretty good besides the lack of sleep. But I mean, the beginning of the year at work is tough for me, man. But I've been muscling it out, so we'll survive.
Yeah, I feel you.
We'll survive.
Oh man.
So how we want to start this one off this week?
Well, you know what? Like I said, I'll just go ahead and get this random story out the way because this just happened hours before this podcast started broadcasting.
All right.
So, I go to pay off a bill. Yes, that's what adults do is pay a bill. But anyway, I go to pay off this bill, and there's this one guy who just came up and was just like, yeah, he figured out that he doesn't have to pay the water service, but he has to pay the tax service. It has nothing to do with the water company. So he sent a check to the water company, and the water company said, no, you got to send it to the tax service. So he goes ballistic. He's just like, you know what? I'm getting tired of talking to this. I'm getting tired of talking to this water company. He's telling me that I got to pay this to the tax company. And I'm getting tired of living in Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh is so corrupt, blah, blah, blah. And I'm getting tired of dealing with you. Expletive deleted. It was a racial show. It was a racial slur.
And words. We can go that far.
Right, yeah, we can. We getting tired of you N words and talking to you N words when I'm trying to conduct business. I'm right behind this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I tap him on the shoulder. He turns around. And I just look because he gave a story about how he owned 38 properties or whatever. So I looked at him and I said, you know what? You're tired of this N word dealing with your bill. You're tired of this N word telling you to go to the tax service. Now, the difference between me and those two is that they work here. They don't. They're going to lose their jobs if anything happens. I don't work here, so I have nothing to lose.
Man on a ledge.
Right. So he looked at. He just said, "I'm so sorry, sir. If I had known that you were behind me, I was just like." If you had known that I was behind you, so you were going to say this no matter what. That's not what I meant, sir. Yeah, that's what you meant. But here's what you're going to do. First off, you're going to apologize to these two workers here. I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to call you guys N words. And he actually said N words at this time.
Okay.
I didn't mean to actually call you guys N words. And I'm so sorry. That's my father talking. I was just like, no, here, you're going to say more. I felt as little about you. I felt as little about you as little as the thing inside my pants. What? As little as the thing beside my pants. As little inside the thing, or as little as the thing inside my pants. Now, another thing you're going to do is after you leave, you're going to go to whatever real estate agent that you said that you were going to call, sell all 38 properties, and get out of Pittsburgh. Yes, sir. Rushed out like a bullet.
Mm. He ain't gonna do that. But he just wanted to get out of that situation.
Exactly. It will be funny if he actually did that, though.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, he ain't gonna do that, but I mean, I'd have probably grabbed his legs. I'd have grabbed his legs. I wouldn't have said none of that. Wouldn't have made him apologize. I'd have grabbed his legs. I'd have lifted up and made his feet hit the air. Made his head hit the ground.
Well, see, already got too much trouble in the throwing punches after hearing that M word. And in fact, my wife started listing all the days that I've thrown punches after hearing the N word. So it was just like, okay, I'm gonna stop throwing punches today when I hear the N word.
See,
20 minutes after we had that conversation, I hear the N word. I'm just like, so I gotta practice what I preach. Tap, tap, tap.
So yeah, that's you. I ain't at that stage yet. I'm still at grab your cuffs and lift them up and see how hard your head can hit the ground. And if you don't get knocked out, you gonna catch these hands. That's where I'm at. You ain't gonna disrespect like that. That's just one thing. I mean, you gotta know, like in about it's 2018 now. Everybody know where they stand. You know what I mean? You can't use that word.
We are not our ancestors anymore.
Right. We will fuck you up. Like that's how it goes down. And there's no debate about that. Like you say it in front of the wrong person, you just gotta expect it's gonna happen. And the judge gonna side with us every time because you don't want to be the judge that says that
not guilty for using a racial slur.
Yeah, you don't want to be the judge that convicts a black person for smacking a white dude or anyone who is not of color for using the N word, because you just have to know that that's going to happen. Like, that's a part of life.
Exact. Period.
Like,
Period.
I mean, it's a shame it has to be that way, but I mean,
That's the hand you dealt.
that's where black people put their foot down, and you just gotta respect it. You got to, and if you don't, then I mean, you're gonna catch these hands.
Exactly. If you don't, then we're not responsible for what happens to you.
Yeah, because most of us black out, you know, and whatever happens, what did Drago say? Or Drago, if he dies,
he dies. Exactly.
I ain't gonna go that far. I ain't gonna kill nobody because
right.
You know, I got kids. I do got a mean ass headlock though, so don't fuck me.
I got more than a headlock. I got a crossface.
Yeah, it's like crippler crossface. Yeah. That's what's up. So yeah, man. I don't really know. I don't really know where I decided to go with this, but I think I'm gonna go with the story everybody's been waiting for. The box cutter story. Where
yes, go ahead with the box cutter story.
I think we'll roll with that because I'm working the job, right? The previous job. I'm working the previous job, and dude comes in the store, and he ain't really set off an alarm with me because it was nearly the end of my shift, and I'm ready to go.
Right.
But so I do a lap around the store, see if there's any suspicious characters. I couldn't find anybody. So I'm coming to the end of my lap, and I look down the medicine aisle, and so I see this guy, and he's crouched down. He has his book bag wide open.
Why do people bring book bags to a supermarket? Come on, man.
I didn't notice it at first because when he first walked in the store, if I noticed he had his book bag, I'd have probably just watched him from there on out.
Right, but even at that, at any given notice, you have a book bag.
Right, you supposed. I mean, everybody knows you're supposed to check your bags in.
Right.
Either that, or don't touch your book bag through the duration of your shopping experience. Or you might get stopped at the door and you just gotta suck it up, you know, bend over and take it.
Right, or not even at the door. Like in the middle of your shopping trip, you're checking to see if you want 3 meat DiGiorno or pepperoni DiGiorno, and you got your book bag on your back.
Right.
Take the book bag off.
Public service announcement, like a month.
Yes. So, Eddie, go ahead.
So, this dude, he's crouched down. He got his book bag wide open, and he didn't see me yet. So I just walked in the aisle, and I looked at him. I saw him crouched down, and I'm pretending like I'm shopping. Well, he looks at me, and he realized that he didn't know I was a secret shopper at this point. So he looked at me, and then he just immediately zipped up his book bag, got up, walked around a different aisle, and tried to bounce out the store. Well, I noticed that he saw me and did all this, so I went straight to the door and waited at the door. And as he's coming through the produce section, like he had hit some sort of cut on me, he comes towards me at the door, and I step right in front of him. I said, "Excuse me, sir. I am with store security. I need you to come with me so we can talk about the items that are in your book bag."
Right.
And so he gets pissed. And he's like, "No, man, fuck you, man. Get out of my way." So I did a side step. Because he ain't had no weapon on him at this time.
Right.
I did a side step and let him go. I was like, "Look," I mean, as he's walking out, I was like, "Look, you can either deal with me or we can get the police involved, and it never goes your way if it comes to that."
Exactly.
So he eventually was just like, "You know what, call the police." I was like, "All right."
Oh, bold.
So I'm on the phone. I pull out my phone and I start to dial 911, and I'm like, "Well, look, since I'm calling the police, just come back here in this office, have a seat, and we'll sort this all out." And he's like, "You know what? No, man, fuck you, man. I'm out of here." He said it again. So he starts walking out, and I'm on the phone with the dispatch office, for 911. I'm on the phone with
Right.
dispatch, and I'm telling them what's going on and what the situation I'm in, and that you need somebody to come down from such and such apartments to pick this guy up. And she was like, you know what, we're on it. Go ahead and hang up. I was like, all right.
Boom.
And she was not lying, yo. She was not lying. I was doing some well, you know what? She basically got the unit in the area.
Right.
She got a hold of him and was like, you know what? I got this situation going on right now. We need someone nearby. So as that happens, this dude takes out a box cutter and he's like, "Yo, get the fuck out of my way. I'm leaving." I was like, "Hey, I did a side step. Have a nice day, sir." So he walks out the store. As he's walking out, he's in the parking lot. I'm following from a distance, maybe 20 feet. So that way, if he does something, I got time to react. He walks out of the store. I'm behind him. I'm on the phone with dispatch. And I'm like, hey, you know what? He's just decided to say F it and just walk out. And he's walking up the parking lot right now. And she's like, oh, say no more. We got somebody on it. So I looked and turned around and saw the cop cars coming down the hill. So they saw me because all the cops know me at this point.
Right.
I pointed at dude and was like, yeah, he's right there. So he's walking up. And then I just went back to work. So I go back in the store, and the minute that I sit down, well, not that I sit down, but the minute that I walk past like one of the popular aisles that I hang out in,
Right.
here he comes. I'm so sorry, sir. And the officer was like, "Yo, is this your guy right here?" I was like, "Yep, that's him. Take him away, sir." He was like, "He just wants to ask you a few questions." He's like, "Hey, you know what? I'm very very sorry, but these officers took my cigarettes, and I just want to know if you can replace them. That's all I wanted." And I'm like, "So
What?
you did all of this for some
For
cigarettes?
some cigarettes.
For some cigarettes?"
For some all the theatrics for some cigarettes.
So I'm like, "Hey, no, I can't help you." The and that was the last I've heard of dude. So, but so fast forward after that report was filed, the police ended up catching him. So I skipped that part. I'm sorry, my bad. So
You
so the
good?
police ended up catching him
Yeah.
like literally within that first 5 minutes. So I'm in the store working, and they come to me. They're like, "Hey Moses, come outside." And I'm like, "All right."
Oh
And they're
shit.
like, they pointed
Right.
out. I was like, "Yeah, is this your guy?" I was like, "Yeah, that's him. That's the guy that pulled out this box cutter right here because I pulled it out of my pocket."
Right.
Because what happened was he ended up throwing it after he was running from the cops.
Yeah.
He threw it at me, but it went way left field. So I grabbed it
Fucking fuck.
and put it in my pocket. Put it in my pocket. So the officers get there and they're like, "Yeah, we're sorry, but he's such and such
Resisting
distant."
arrest
Yeah,
and all this other bullshit that
yeah. So I'm like, all right, yeah, fine, whatever. Take him away. That's him.
right.
So about 2 weeks later, I get a letter in the mail. Hey, you got to appear in court to
Oh
testify
shit.
because he was facing 10 years
Right.
because technically that's armed robbery. You pull out a box cutter,
Right. Especially the supermarket.
right? So he pulls out the. I mean, I get the letter in the mail, and they're like, yeah, you gotta come down at downtown at such and such date at such and such time, and I eventually just ended up sending someone else with
Nah, I
with
feel
the
you.
with the report. No, I went to the first report, but then like it got postponed, and I was like, yeah, I'm not coming down there anymore. So I ended up sending someone else, and they took care of the situation. But that was a doozy, man. Like I really almost got sliced over some. What was he was still in? He was still in Bic razors and Reese cups.
Big razors and Reese cups.
And he got 8 years just because he pulled a box cutter
Because
on
he
him.
wanted to pull a box cutter, because he wanted some Reese cups
And some
and,
big.
and some big razors.
Yep.
One, big razors don't do shit for your face, anything.
I wouldn't know. I don't go facial hair, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, you see me, like whatever the picture says on your SoundCloud or the YouTube.
Yeah.
No, that was years ago. So I have no hair. So I have no hair anymore. So yeah, big razors, no, that it doesn't do shit for you.
Right.
And you were willing to do 8 years over Reese cups. Now, mind you, I love Reese cups.
They're amazing.
That's my favorite fucking candy.
True.
But I'm not pulling a box cutter because I want some fucking Reese cups.
Right.
All
It's
right,
not worth it.
not at all.
So then he got caught. He got shipped off to jail. I had to go to court twice about it and put him away, and that was that. Come to find out, I'm friends with his nephew.
Oh, Jesus.
Like me and his nephew was super tight. We went to the band room together. We
Uh,
did everything together,
damn.
and here I am with him.
Wow. Damn. And see, that's what the one thing about families. It's like there's always that one fuck up in your family. And
Right.
as soon as you're cool with that, as soon as you're cool with one person who actually met that fuck up in your family, you're just like, yeah, I know him. Like, you know him how? Yeah, he's blood. Oh, he blood. If I would have known, no, nah.
That's got to be rough.
Right, exactly. Wow. All right, hold on. I'm sorry, but yeah, I gotta talk about this shit because this is the craziest shit I ever heard. NYU serves Kool-Aid and watermelon water for Black History Month. I'm gonna read this out. When Kayla Eubanks saw a sign for a Black History Month special menu in a New York University dining hall on Tuesday, she was interested to see what they were serving. I figured it would serve some type of Southern cuisine, the NYU student told CNN. But she was stunned to see the full menu: ribs, collard greens, cornbread, smashed yams, mac and cheese, and two beverages: red Kool Aid and watermelon flavored water.
It's this bomb low key, depending on what kind you get.
But still, it was Black History Month, and the first thing you thought of was watermelon flavored water. But anyway, Eubanks said she asked one of the cafeteria managers about it and was told, yeah, it's Black History Month. The student said she was having a hard time believing this because believing this was being served at the university like NYU, which prides itself on being diverse and inclusive. She then told others about what was going on. A fellow student, Nia Harris, came to investigate for herself. I talked to the head cook who told me Black people put this menu together and assured me that it was not racially insensitive. Harris said, frustrated by that response, she sent an email to the head of the dining hall, copied several deans from the university, and posted it on Facebook. Within 24 hours, NYU President Andrew Hamilton responded with a statement calling the menu inexclusively insensitive and saying that the school's food vendor, Aramark, they serve shit in football stadiums. But anyway, did not discuss the menu choices with them beforehand. So you mean to tell me that Aramark, again, I'm gonna mention this again, they serve food in football stadiums.
Right.
They said we're gonna give ribs, macaroni and cheese, red Kool-Aid, and watermelon flavored water for Black History Month.
I remember that.
Cause you know how much us niggas love watermelon.
Mm-hmm.
I meant to say in words, but yeah. it had to be said at this point. But
Yeah, like I said, because I remember seeing that post, man. That's and now it's just getting to a point now where it's just laughable. It's just like yeah, y'all can't be serious, man. Y'all can't be serious. Like you can't host a Black History Month type deal and serve watermelon Kool Aid.
watermelon Kool-Aid, ribs, mac and cheese. And you know what? Every time I work somewhere, we did a Black History Month, whatever. No matter what, we begged and begged not to serve fried chicken
Right.
in in our dinner. And there's always one person that goes, "It's insert year here. We are far removed from our ancestors." That doesn't mean that we want fried chicken and watermelon in a Black History Month celebration.
Right. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, ridiculous. And then it's like to further chime in on current events, like this Black Panther movie just came out,
Yes, it
and
has.
around the same time that another school shooting happened.
Yeah.
So you put those two things hand in hand. Everybody's all Black Power gung ho. Let's team up and be black and be great, which is great. You know, I love the unity that I'm seeing. But then again, we're seeing a school shooting by a young white kid at the same time. Now, with that, we've got black people who are feeling great to be black. We've got a white school shooter, and now we've got conversation around gun control.
Yeah.
So
Gun control.
now here's the thing, like as much as I don't agree with, well, I ain't even gonna mention people's name. I saw something where it was like in a DUI incident, we blame the driver, right?
You're right.
But in a school shooting, we're blaming the gun
Instead of the shooter.
instead of the
Exactly.
shooter. So nobody has the answers. Everybody is acting like they have the answers. None of y'all have the answers.
Exactly.
I have not seen the answer.
Right.
But everybody acts like they have the answer. No one has it. No one knows what will work. No one can prevent random acts of violence. I call it that because in this most recent incident that I'm talking about, there was a student from a school in Florida, and this kid was allegedly special ed, so to speak.
Right.
He had a history of wanting to do this, right? So why is it now that everybody is like, oh man, we need gun control? Almost you can find upwards of 50 plus rifles in every neighborhood.
Right.
By rifles, I mean assault rifles.
AR-15.
And these and there's assault rifles in every neighborhood damn near.
Right.
All right. So that doesn't mean a school shooting will happen every day. That doesn't mean that mass casualties will pass into the other world every day. What the problem is that this individual got behind a gun and realized that he can take lives and devastate a community, the nation, possibly the world. I don't know what they're feeling in other countries.
Right.
And everybody's like, oh man, we need to get rid of the guns. While that may or may not work, you don't have the answer. Like, you don't know if it will work.
Right. And you know what? No, hold, because this is the thing that kind of kills me about the whole gun control argument. The gun isn't really going to do anything. I could lay down the gun on the table and say, "Hey, go kill somebody." Guess what? The gun ain't going to do anything.
Exactly.
It's an inanimate object unless somebody controls it.
Exactly.
Now, this goes back to a lot of this shit that I've been hearing to where you need to arm the teachers, or two, you need to have armed guards.
No, I was about to
I
get to that.
disagree with both of them.
I was getting to that. So you're not going. We're not arming teachers.
At all.
Teachers don't go to school to educate students while wielding a firearm. Most of those students, everybody who has attended a high school in public school, or even if you didn't go to a public school, there's a teacher that you got in your head right now that you're like, oh man, if he had a gun, we'd all be shot.
Exactly.
If such and such teacher had a pistol, such and such person, or possibly me, will be shot. That that alone makes me wonder why people are considering this whole thing.
And,
You can't be in a situation where the teachers are armed if they're not built for that life. Like that they ain't about that life.
right.
You can't give a teacher a gun who has dedicated their life to educating children. Although that may give them a one up maybe of preventing a situation from being worse than it could be. But then you can't have people that signed up for the job who have a gun, but when the shit goes down, you run and hide.
Exactly.
I expect every teacher with a gun to run and hide if the shit goes down.
And you know what? Even if the shit didn't go down, let's be real. If you want armed guards and you want armed teachers, just like you said before, I don't trust every fucking body.
Right.
Just the same way as there is a crazy cop, there's a
There's a
crazy
crazy teacher.
teacher, or there's a crazy guard. And the thing that kills me about these little armed guard situations is that they want to have retired cops and retired vets. So you mean to tell me that there's going to be this retired cop who has access to the trigger that's going to shoot a student and not know how to cover it up?
Right? Because who's to say that this retired cop don't like black people, or don't
Exactly.
like kids, or don't like this one particular student who calls them an asshole every day? Or who's to say this veteran that you hired who may or may not have PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, and have a flashback and take out every kid in the hallway as they're going to lunch or some shit like that.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, that may or may not be the solution. I don't know. I don't got the answers. But it just bothers me that everybody acts like they got the answers. I mean, of course you want to stand behind your word, but you don't got the answers. You don't got the answers, Sway. Not you, Sway. Not Sway, but
That's way.
But you get what I'm saying though. Like, you don't got the answers. You don't know what will happen if the world follows the rules according to you. Stop acting like you got the answers.
And
You don't.
what makes it more hilarious was where the shooting happened. There were armed guards.
Right. I was touching on that low key. Like, there was a guy there that signed up for this bullshit. And when the shit went down, when the shit hit the fan, he acted like he was part of the shit that hit the fan and just went the opposite direction.
Right.
Like,
He looked the other way. So where's this armed guard argument coming into play?
right. So I mean, who has the answers? Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen in the future? Like, I mean, there's several countries that have a better track record than us because they do things differently. Because people actually respect their governments. People actually have faith in the in their law enforcement. But here in every state you can possibly
The
name,
good old USA.
they don't, and that's the problem. I mean, people don't care about consequence. People just take matters into their own hands, and no one can prevent a random act. But I mean, this most recent situation was different. I understand, or I have heard that it could have been stopped, but who knows? I mean, I don't know the answer, and I don't pretend like I know the answer. All we can do is hope that the people in charge do their job and put the asshole responsible behind bars.
Exactly. Now my question through all of these is every time they come up with an armed guard or armed teacher, is it not a tragedy if the teacher pulls the trigger? Or if the guard pulls the trigger?
Right. It's still considered a school shooting.
And it still will be considered a tragedy. Even if it's an unarmed student because you felt you needed to stand your ground.
Right. You felt threatened. So you're gonna shoot this student in the stomach because he was pissed because you took his stuff.
Right. Now mind
Or
you,
something.
I'm not an advocate of gun control. I'm not.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this. That anybody can get access to a gun the same way that anybody can get access to a drug. Weed is illegal. People have access to it. Crack is illegal.
Always.
People have access to it. Arms racing is illegal. People can arms race. So if there's anybody that says, "Ho, I have a gun," we're going the legal route.
Right.
I'll pay you outright for that gun, the same way that you can pay outright for weed, the same way you can pay outright for crack, the same way that you can pay outright for the arms racer that's out there selling these guns illegally.
Right.
So, no, I'm not an advocate of gun control. Now, my assumption, well, I won't even say assumption. My theory, let's fix these damn psychological tests that retired cops, retired vets, whoever can easily pass. Because apparently they can easily pass these tests and can still murder.
Right.
But that's just my theory.
I mean, right. I've got no argument for that one. I don't. I mean, it is what it is. You know, and we just have to learn how to roll with it, basically, and go from there. See what we can do. Take care of whatever we can take care of in the meantime, and after that, we just need to go and just hope that people do the right thing.
Exactly. And that's pretty much what we got to go on is hope. And, well, yeah, hope and a prayer for change. That's exactly what we need.
Right. So, I mean, I guess that's it for this episode. As usual, I'm Moses Workman.
And I'm Moses Turner.
And this is the Moses Podcast.
No biblical shit.
And we out.
Peace.